Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something we all wonder about but rarely understand. How do the apps on our phones actually keep our private data safe? We're going to strip away all that complicated developer jargon and look at the real everyday rules that protect our digital lives. So let's figure this out together. Okay, let's dive into this. Imagine you're heading out for a long vacation. You lock your bedroom door, right? But then you leave your actual front door just wide open. Sounds totally crazy, doesn't it? Well, in the digital world, having software vulnerabilities is literally like leaving that front door wide open. So, how do app developers make sure they're actually locking up? Let's start with Section 1, what is secure coding? Or, as I like to think of it, building your digital front door. You see, secure coding isn't just some expensive, magical security software you can buy and install at the last minute. It's actually a fundamental discipline. It's the art of writing software that actively resists attacks. Think of it as a constant mindset of digital self-defense baked into every single line of code. Developers basically have to ask themselves with every keystroke, hey, what if someone tries to misuse this? Moving on to Section 2, breaking the security myths and what people get wrong. Because before we learn the rules, we really need to know what secure coding is definitely not. People often think security is just a magic wand, you know? Like a scanner tool you run at the very end, or a quick feature you just tack on right before launch. The reality, you just can't rely on automated scanners alone. Real security has to be built in from the very start, and honestly, it is absolutely everyone's job on the team. That brings us to Section 3, 5 rules for safe apps. Let's look at everyday digital defense. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that when we scrub away all that heavy tech jargon, these concepts are surprisingly straightforward. We've got minimum permissions, layered protection, safe defaults, verify everything, and keep it simple. These actually map perfectly to the physical security habits you and I already use every single day. Let's break them down. Rule number 1 is minimum permissions, which developers sometimes call least privilege. Think about it like this. You wouldn't give a plumber the combination to your personal safe just so they can fix your kitchen sink, right? It's the exact same for your phone. An app should absolutely never have access to data or systems it doesn't strictly need to do its specific job. Next up, Rule 2, layered protection, or defense in depth. Picture a classic medieval castle. You don't just dig a moat and call it a day. You have a moat, an outer wall, and an inner keep. That way, if an attacker gets past one layer, the others are still holding strong. In an app, this means checking security at the front door, down the hallway, and again at the vault. Rule 3 is safe defaults. Imagine a highly secure building loses power. You definitely want those electronic doors to automatically lock, not just fly wide open for anyone. It's the same with software. If an app crashes or, say, fails to verify your password, it must always default to denying access. It should never accidentally leak your private data just because a server had a minor hiccup behind the scenes. Rule 4 brings us to a pretty stark quote. Every piece of outside data is hostile. So the crucial point here is that developers can never, ever trust user input. This is basically the digital equivalent of stranger danger. Whether it's a login form or just an uploaded photo, the app has to meticulously check every single ID at the door before letting anything inside. And our final rule, keep it simple. Look, complexity is the absolute enemy of security. If you build a massive, tangled maze of code, you're really just creating dozens of blind spots where bugs and intruders can easily hide out. Keeping the code straightforward and clean makes it vastly easier to defend. Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into our ultimate takeaway. Security is everyone's job, with no passing the buck. Because understanding these rules really changes how we view the whole software industry. Security isn't just some isolated department down the hall, it's a daily habit. These 5 simple rules apply to every single app, every programming language, and every platform out there. It turns out it's not about writing absolutely flawless code all the time. It's about maintaining a constant mindset of defense every single time hands hit a keyboard. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. The next time you download a brand new app or type your password into a website, just ask yourself, who is actually checking the locks on your favorite app? Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and as always, stay curious.